going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Country Boys RC, and today we've got a new RC in the shop. This is that 8-scale Nitro Buggy that I was telling you guys about in the TM4 video. But before I get to that, I'm going to go ahead and go over what I'm running in this buggy. I'm going to be using the Spektrum DX4C with the SR410 receiver. Going to be running that Racing R5R motor with the 2104 pipe and the S manifold. This also has the Racing Quattro Clutch with 2 aluminum and 2 carbon shoes on it. Servos is going to be the Protek 100 SS and the Savox 0259 servo. Fuel for choice is going to be this Byrons World's Blend Gen 2. It is 30% nitro, 8% oil. That's the same fuel that I used to break this motor in with when it was brand new, and that's what I've run ever since. To me, the Byrons fuel holds a tune better. It just it allows this motor to operate a whole lot better in all the race conditions that I'm in. So let's get all this off the table and we will take a look at this buggy. Alright guys, this is the Team C Racing T8V3. This is the newest version of their 8-scale buggy class. They have the V3 and the V3E. The V3E is the electric buggy version. Both are very similar, where it comes with parts, the aluminum shock towers, the big bore 16mm shocks, 17mm aluminum hexes, oil-filled diffs throughout. The only thing different is one is an electric and one's a nitro. This here is the nitro version. So we're just going to start from the front and go to the back, and I'll tell you guys what I'm running. Spring, shock package, diff package, everything, just so you can get an idea of what I prefer on my local tracks. So starting up front, we've got these Kyosho light blue springs. I'm running 6x1.3 pistons with 30 weight oil in the front. Front diff oil is 5,000 weight. The center diff, I'm running a 5,000 weight center diff. And on the rear, I'm also running Kyosho light blue springs with 6x1.3 pistons, also with 27.5 weight oil and 3,000 weight diff oil in the rear. This buggy, I have not got to run it yet. I got it in the mail from the guy I purchased it from. Went through the buggy, cleaned it up because this buggy was last raced at the Southern Indoor Championships and wasn't cleaned afterwards. So I told him, I said, just ship it to me. I'll go through it when I get time, clean it up, and I'll get it race ready. So that's what I went ahead and done. It took me 3 days to get this buggy tore down. All of my stuff put on it, shocks, or my springs, my oil, diff oil, everything like that, and then another day to get it rebuilt. So we'll go ahead and get this body off of it, and I'll show you guys what's underneath. This is the factory body from Team C Racing. It's similar to, it's almost like a Proline Bulldog body. I don't believe that's what it is, so don't hold me to that. I think this is just, you know, a generic body that Team C throws in with their buggies to when they manufacture the kit. But the one thing is nice, it does have this nice cab forward design on it. So that's the body for the buggy. Underneath the body, you've got this nice layout. The motor mount has only one mounting position, so you can't move it front or forward or rear. You can just move it left to right via the mounting screws on the bottom. The center diff, I believe, is fixed. Yes, so you cannot move that center diff forward or backwards or left or right. So you're kind of stuck with what position it's in. but to me, seeing this buggy run at the Southern Indoor Championships, you don't need to move weight around on this buggy whatsoever. The only thing you may need to do is add weight in specific spots if your setup calls for it. As you can see, this is that Reds R5R that I was running on the JQ White Edition with that 2104 Reds Racing pipe and the S manifold. It's hard to see because it's behind the pipe, is that Reds Quattro Clutch with a 16-tooth clutch bell on it. Aluminum chassis with the Team C logo engraved on the bottom of it. Plastic chassis braces front and rear. Plastic front upper chassis brace. They do offer a aluminum upgrade option, which this buggy will be getting in a couple weeks before the next big race happens. Flipping it around here, show you guys the electronics tray. You got your battery tray up front with your receiver box and power switch to the rear. Steering servo is that Protek 100 SS, like I said, and the throttle servo is that Savox 0253 Metal Gear servo. The buggy has a lot of tuning options for your shock mounting and for your inner camber link. On the front tower, you have 4 upper shock position mounts, and on the arms you have 2. On the rear, it's the same, 4 on the upper and 2 on the lower. Your outer camber link position, you only have 1 on the outer hub carrier, and on the inside, I believe you have 4. Yes, you have 4 positions for your roll center on the front. On the rear, it's a different story. You have 2 positions on the outer hub, and then on the shock tower for your roll center, you have 5 options. You do have mud flaps here on the back to kind of protect your springs and your rear CVDs from getting mud and dirt built up on them. This buggy is completely CVD and CVA out of the box, so no dog bones whatsoever. It uses the little suspension, little black peel inserts to adjust your front kick up, your rear camber, or your rear toe, excuse me, and your rear anti-squat. All of the CVDs or CVAs use metal bands over the pins to capture the little pin going through to hold it in. I'm trying to see if I've got one here. So you'll have a little pin that goes through the ball end here, and there's a metal ring that snaps around the outside of it, so you don't have to worry about little rubber O-ring or anything breaking during the race and that pin slipping out. The camber links on this thing are very massive. I mean, these things are extremely large. I don't have my calipers handy to measure the size of them, but they're true 8-scale camber links. I mean, you have to have it looks about, I don't know, maybe 4 millimeters, maybe 5 millimeters, maybe. I'm just guessing on that. Buggy does have sway bars front and rear. I do not remember what my sway bars are at this time. I didn't measure them. I just grabbed a set out and put it on so I could get this buggy completed. Your Ackerman plate. One very nice thing about this, it has 3 positions, and they're in a triangle design. You have a forward mount position, and then you have 2 rear positions, one to the left and one to the right. So you have to, adjust everything accordingly to what your buggy is doing and what it needs. Fuel tank, it is a 120cc fuel tank, maybe a 125, whatever is roar legal. This tank does fit inside those settings. I am running, let me turn this around here so you guys can see it. I did decide to go this season and get a small Horizon Hobbies fuel filter, inline fuel filter for the buggy. because I want to protect this Red's R5R motor from getting any dirt or debris into the carburetor and getting into this engine. Let's see, what else do we have here? The tires I've got on this right now are just some junk roll around tires, so I can have it set up on here and you guys can see it in the completed look. Adjustable rear spoiler with two adjustment points, an upper and a lower mount. The bump box that or the starter box that I'm sitting on, this is a Protek Sure Start bump box. I put two little painted on arrows so I could tell which way the buggy went in case my pit guy needed, you know, in a hurry. Fits this buggy very well. It's adjusted up very tightly to it, so I don't have to worry about my pit man fighting to get this buggy refired if it does flame out. The upgrades that I've got planned for this buggy, like I said, are going to be those aluminum chassis braces, the front and rear, and then that upper chassis plate. I'm going to be upgrading the center diff cover to aluminum also, just to give it a little bit more protection over that center diff gear and to keep everything from flexing inside there, along with the center diff mount. All of that will be upgraded to aluminum. The bearings on this buggy have been upgraded. They are no longer the factory ball bearings. They are ceramic ball bearings from Boca Bearings. Those have been installed, so that is one awesome upgrade that's already on this buggy. What else? What other upgrades are planned for this? Trying to look and see what all upgrades we have. Going to be putting aluminum front hub carriers, front C hubs on this. So we can adjust those out a little bit. I believe these are 14-degree front hub carriers. I'm going to put a 15 or a 16-degree on there because my local track, the 16 degrees seem to work a little bit better. So that is the T8V3 from Team C Racing, guys. Just a quick overview of the buggy. Going to race it this coming up weekend at Lake Hartwell RC Complex, so be looking for some running videos of that, and we will see you guys on the next one. Hope you enjoyed it.